Hey, it's chapter 90 of World's Longest Suicide Note. And I'm your host. I'm Roger. I am still suicidal when I'm having a bad day. So that hasn't changed. I'm, you know, despite best efforts. But even though that is the case, still, I am not in any way, shape, or form. It feels like I'm doing a dance. It feels like with my hands, I'm doing a dance with them. Sorry. I am not a professional of, or someone you should be, like basing life decisions on. So, just need to disclaimer on that. Sorry, I have an itch like right between my eyes. Okay. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about sleep today. Oy. Yeah, sleep. First of all, so I got this picture I'm doing, and you can't really tell what it is. It's a big painting. I'm doing it for a show, and I know I said I was going to do smaller paintings, so it just, honestly, you're not watching these videos to see the paintings as much, because there's way better artists and way better paintings on YouTube. You just click off of this video and go watch, and I watch them. They're really cool. There's some really good artists on YouTube, and I love watching them. And I'm not one of them. So, anywho's, but I'm also not really thinking that you just, that me without doing something is worth the watch either. So anyway, but we talked about it. This is a painting I'm doing, and this is just me. I was sitting there one time, and I had this idea to paint kind of a mashup, and I think it's was it Wheel of Fortune that does like before and after, or, and I don't really have any good examples right now, but anyway, so disregard that whole line. I strike that from the record, please. Anyway, I just thought it'd be funny to do a mashup, Weird Al and Al Capone. Weird Al Capone. Weird Al, and so if Al Capone wasn't a cold-blooded killer, gangster, booze trafficker, whatever, and for those that are like, who the hell is Al Capone? He was like an old gangster. That's him. Yeah, I mean, I had a nice looking suit. Anyway, but apparently he was a real dick, and ended up going to jail. They made several movies about him, and then there's Weird Al. And before you go to, I know this isn't Weird Al. I mean, it's a characterization of Weird Al, from Frodo Baggins, and so I get it. What I was going for here is the hair and the mustache and the glasses. So that's what I took off of this one to add to the other one. So I didn't need, and sorry about that, there's a nipple right there too. I'm not going to paint the nipple. Why am I going around it like in circles? Sorry. So that's what I'm doing with this, and it's this one because I was looking up images of Weird Al, and the head posture has to be kind of similar. So like if I fold this and I put it next to that, I needed to add the mustache and the hair and the glasses, and I found it easier. So I looked for like the same kind of head posture, the head, and there wasn't really one of the real Weird Al, and so but there was of this of God, what's his name? I know his name, but all I can see is Frodo now. I'm sorry. Shit. All right. So that's what that's about. But now I'm going to tone the canvas. That's all I'm going to do here. Just paint some colors on and get ready for the actual deal. And I've talked about toning the canvas. There's nothing magic about it. It's just, I hate the white. The white is hard to look at. So I'm just gonna put some paint over it. And this is, it's always kind of a transparent. That's one thing about acrylics is that there's a whole bunch of transparency. Not a lot of, even darker colors could be opaque. Even darker colors could be transparent. I meant transparent enough to where you could see your basic lines, your outlines through that. And I'm going to do this painting more in the black and white style anyway. So this will all be, painted over and stuff. Yeah, I'm a little out of it. Been off of my sleep, which is I've been off on my sleep for, coming and going for all my life. So it's not like that's a big surprise. But I mean, in my opinion, for what that's worth, I don't know if there's really much we can do better for ourselves than sleep, prioritizing sleep. And I prioritize sleep. I really want to sleep. I want to sleep. I want to sleep right now. And it's funny, I could probably fall asleep right now. But if you put me in bed, with the idea that it's time to sleep, it's hit or miss. And then staying asleep, like I say, a lot of times falling asleep isn't the thing. I mean, because I take edibles, which help me relax before bed. And whatever you feel about that, I prioritize sleep. And if I had a hard time getting to sleep, I'd use whatever tools were at hand to be able to do that. So anyway, not trying to go down that road. All right, but it's not. It's rarely the issue of getting to sleep. I could get to sleep now, even if it was bedtime. But it's staying asleep. It's when you open the door to your anxiety, and it walks in and takes hold and is a very bad guest. Because you open the door to it and it came in, and should never open the door to your anxiety. If you figure out how to do that, let me know. But not if you're selling something. Not if you have a product that works great for you. I don't give a shit about it. I've tried those. I don't want to go down that road. I'm not going to sell anything either for you. So just be aware. Oh yeah, but sleep's always been a bit of a issue. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, fuck. I keep saying that. When all is said and done, I don't know if that's any better. self-help, sleep is one of the best things you can do for yourself. And prioritize, meaning I'm setting aside the time that would normally need to recover, to rejuvenate, so to speak. I don't know, I've never really felt rejuvenated, like, like that's a thing. But, the ability to carry and do the same amount of work that you did yesterday without expending more energy to do it. So, that's why we sleep. We're very inefficient creatures because we need to spend a third of our lives sleeping, which makes us pretty inefficient. We just can't keep going. And that, I think we've all been there where we just went through periods of time where we didn't get a lot of sleep, and it just jacks your life up. There's that time, that thing you think, well, if I could, the stories are Arnold Schwarzenegger only needs 4 hours of sleep a night. I mean, honestly, I want to call it bullshit. But I know that there's people who are out there like that's what they get, and that they've kind of trained themselves, and that's sufficient, and they can continue on that. I'm against it. I think you should get as much sleep as you damn well need. And what if you miss out on it? Well, honestly, what are you really going to miss out on? What horrors would you miss out on by staying awake? So sometimes I'm not even that tired, but I'm tired of the day. Tired of, it's like, all right, let's just go to sleep and wake up and do it all over again. Yeah. All right. I can't reach that, so I'm going to switch this around. Okay. Is that better? I don't know. Is it better for me? Is it better for you? Mickey Miss, did I put paint on my face? I can't tell because it's on this side, so whenever I look at this, I wouldn't be able to see it anyway. I may or may not have paint all over my face right now. But I will suffer for the art. No, I got it all on my hands. What the hell happened there? Jeez, oh Pete. All right. Where was I? We were talking about sleep. Sleepy sleep. I remember one time, I think I slept for like 12 hours. And I woke up, and I did feel very good. I feel maybe that's what rejuvenation feels like. I mean, it felt like, wow, that's pretty cool. But then you start thinking, the time, I wasted all that time sleeping when I could have been doing something. And so, so what am I going to talk about? I mean, my sleep's been off, but that's no excuse. That's no excuse. I have to sleep. I have to prioritize sleep. I have to do everything I can because, it's not cool to not sleep. Not sleeping is not cool. I mean, if you're acting like you're some kind of rebel, and I only slept 2 hours, that's sad. You need to sleep more. There's nothing, that's not like a badge of honor, only getting a couple hours of sleep or like not sleeping. That doesn't make you stronger or tougher or able to handle things any better. If anything, it's like it starts jacking your existence up. So prioritize sleep. And then even if you don't get sleep, you know in your heart and soul that you tried. You know, sleep was important and I really wanted to get sleep. I used to kind of avoid it because it was like that not Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street kind of thing. When that movie came out, it freaked me out because I had some of those dreams. Not that they killed anybody but you know, those dreams that are like evil and feel real, like you're there. And it's, you know, especially since it's like evil and you feel like with the depression and then the anxiety and all this, you feel like more in tune with your evil side, so to speak. Not that you're evil, or not that what was going on was evil, but you know, some of the nightmares that I had were like disturbing. I mean, it was like those disturbing ones that you wake up and you're like, I don't even want to go back to sleep. And then the irony there is when you don't want to go to sleep, that's when you feel like the most tired. It's like, I can't sleep. I don't want to go back into that situation because that sucked. So you're like fighting it and you fall asleep in like 2 minutes because you don't want to. Your mind is not your friend. So I always, even when I don't get sleep, I always prioritize it. I always go through all the things. I wind down. I watch, you know, creative videos on YouTube because that always relaxes me. You know, people painting or people building dioramas. Love it. Creativity, different ways people, like different processes that people use to make things. I like that stuff. And it puts me in a like alpha wave. Is it alpha waves or beta or there's no C, right? Alpha, beta, delta. What's C? Anyway, there's different waves, and if you nurture those waves, then it eases you to sleep or some shit like that. But I mean, I do all the things to prioritize sleep because I know how important it is, and you know, I'm trying to give myself the best possible chance. And so, and then you just kind of see what happens. Sometimes it works great and you get sleep, and other times it's like it doesn't, but don't give up on it. Like, let it kind of happen. Don't be one of those people who just jump out of bed. Well, if I can't sleep, I'll do something productive. Well, you just told yourself we're not sleeping. All right, we're not sleeping. We got to get up and we got to do some shit. And so you're telling your body that, okay, it's got to wake up. And so then everything wakes up. And now you're awake. And then you got to go through a whole process to get those waves back to the sleeping waves from the awake waves. And that's highly technical, scientific information about the waves. Yeah, so I mean, I'll just lay there sometimes for hours because, you know, at least my body will get the rest that it needs to recover. If my mind doesn't, well, that's fine, but I have to give something. Something's got to get rested. So, yeah. And coffee's just like tastes so good when you're tired. But I'm hoping that I'm gonna just like I'm putting all these vibes out. Like tonight's gonna be a way better night of sleep. I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna go back to sleep tonight. Tonight I'm gonna go back to sleep. I'll get sleep, but when I'm done peeing, it takes longer now to go pee. Yeah, that's weird. I mean, it's like it's got to go a different way, or it gets stopped somewhere. It's like there's traffic control. Because I used to just like, be able to go on demand. I mean, you always go on demand. But as you get older, things shift a bit, and sometimes you just sit there for a couple. It's like it should be going. Why isn't it? Why isn't the fountain working? And then it'll start, and then sometimes it takes a long time. And I see doctors. So, just so you know, I mean, I'm not avoiding that. If there's issues, I mean, I tell my doctor everything. So, they understand what's going on, and everything is well within the normal for my advanced age, as far as that goes. So, anyway, prioritize it, because you don't want to be like this. Yeah, and it's important, and I think tonight, because I'm feeling really good about tonight. Tonight's going to be a good sleep night. And so tomorrow, if I make a video, which I will, I think, I'm back in that kind of the mode of doing videos daily or at least every other day. Yeah, what was I talking about? Oh, sleep. This is why sleep's important. And when it comes to the depression and the suicidal, I mean, being able to think clearly and being able to if you want to be your best advocate, you have to have sleep. So get sleep by all means, because everything kind of falls apart. All right, I think I've said it enough. Get sleep, do something creative, keep fighting, and we'll see you on the next exciting episode of World's Longest Suicide Note. Take care. Stop.